Good afternoon. In creating effective presentations for adult learners, there are a couple of important points to remember. First, we should be aware of the 5 assumptions related to adult learners. For one, adult learners tend to be self-directed. Other than being self-directed, there's a readiness to learn, something that they can apply immediately, something that applies to their job. Now, their current teaching situation. Adult learners also are typically intrinsically motivated to learn. As far as orientation to learning, immediate application, problem-centered. Some of the principles that are applied to adult learners include the need to be involved. Adult learners don't want you to just hand them training or hand them tools or resources that you think they can use. They want to be in the planning process. They want to be involved in the training, such as having them help do the training. Also, experience. They come with a wealth of knowledge, and that wealth of knowledge may or may not be related to their years of experience. Every teacher or every adult learning coming to a situation has personal experiences or professional experiences that they want to use and they want to be used as a resource. As well as those experiences, again, immediate relevance, something they can use not in the near future, not something that's hypothetical in a sense, but something that relates immediately to their job. So something that's relevant and they can immediately take and put into practice. Adult learners tend to be more problem-centered rather than content-oriented. Yes, we know teachers teach content and they may have a specific content area, but they want training to be something that's problem-centered, something that solves a problem they may have in their classroom, such as classroom management, such as teaching students with disabilities or teaching students who are gifted and talented. Those are the type of principles that we apply when we teach or when we train or provide professional development for adult learners. As well as those things, we need to be aware of how to create those presentations or those professional development opportunities. Some quick suggestions are doing a needs-based survey. Instead of giving everyone the same one-size-fits-all, remember we want it to be relevant. So give them a survey where they're able to choose and select what they would be interested in and share that information with us as we provide those training opportunities. Also providing choice. Again, not everyone has the same teaching situation, so they should have access to training that is relevant to their teaching situation, providing that choice. Relevant. Can't stress that enough. Make sure it's relevant to them and not the whole. Again, that goes along with having those choices. Also, immediate application, something they can apply immediately as soon as they leave the training would be a good suggestion, as well as active engagement, such as collaboration. No one wants to sit in a training just sitting at where you're listening to a lecture or watching someone plow through a PowerPoint. As we provide those professional development opportunities, we need to also make sure that we are aware of possible gender, cultural, social, economic, or other types of biases. Some of those biases show up when we assume that a specific group needs a specific type of training without actually talking to them and doing research, or we assume because they're a group, for instance, we assume that white teachers need a certain training when it comes to providing culturally relevant information. So again, making those assumptions. And biases exist. Everybody has a bias. The best way to address them is first acknowledge that there's a bias. Do some self-reflection where you acknowledge, hey, I do have these biases, and be more cognizant when you're preparing these trainings. Respecting other people's differences is another way. Making sure that your environment is a safe place to be different, where there's different types of diversity, not just related to culture or race. Also, other inclusive practices. Opening up those opportunities. For instance, if there is a Black History program, don't assume only the Blacks or African Americans want to take part and participate in planning the event. One last thing as far as addressing biases, address it with students. Make sure they